Hey modders, welcome back to ModifedRoll. Don't forget we're sponsored by DM Dice. Check out the link to their website in our description, or head over to dmdice.co.uk and use the code ModifedRoll for 10% off all purchases. In the last episode, the party continued their way through the lich's lair. They encountered some lesser known D&D creatures and one fairly well known D&D creature. Luckily they managed to make it by in mostly one piece. We rejoined them now as they've been ambushed, caught unawares by a group of fire newts. Will they manage to make it out of this encounter unscathed? Find out in this, episode 21 of season 2 of ModifedRoll, The Sword in the Corpse, part 3. Sinclair, could you make me 2 dexterity saving throws, please?
2?
2, please, yeah.
Okay, Dex.
Please, yeah.
First one is 18.
Cool, you're going to take, that was 5 damage from that one. And the second one, please?
Is 15.
Same again, that is a success. You're going to take another 5 damage as these 2 creatures, you see them like, almost like a cat, sort of like, and it looks like they're pulling up some sort of hairball, but then they lurch forward and out of their mouths spew this noxious, almost like napalm, this clinging, flaming substance. And as it washes over you, it burns and sets fire to your armor and skin where it touches. And then they ready their swords. So we're going to roll initiative again.
Lol.
Oh my
God, a 15.
26.
Damn.
2.
For once, a 19. Out time.
Cool. So as these things have spewed fire over you, Sinclair, you stood in the doorway. Sort of, you're trying now to like see past these noxious fumes and smoke that are washing over you. When from you can see at the far side of this room is another doorway, which is just completely open. The door has been like broken off of its hinges, and stepping into the opening of that doorway is another one of these creatures. But this one looks a little different. It's wearing more flamboyant armor that sweeps up into these big curving. It almost reminds you of like cooled lava flows, where it's like got this like sweeping shape to it, as if it's been flowing downhill and carved into this shape. And it is going to launch I'm going to say that is nowhere near high enough to hit your AC, so it throws a firebolt at you and it washes over your armor, and you hear it chittering. Well, they don't. When they open their mouths, it's a sound like crackling fire and flame and splitting wood, but you can tell that's how they're communicating with one another. It's some form of elemental language. With that said, it is now Ilyana's turn.
I'm far away, so that's not good.
I mean, you can still hit it with a bow.
I don't want to use a bow. Yeah, okay. Okay, I'll move 25 feet all the way just straight up in front of like everyone. I'll have to try and climb over, but excuse me. Sorry, I just need to get past. So like here. And I've got... Oh god, how does this keep happening to us, guys? Okay, then I've got my short sword and a dagger.
Can't use a swashbuckler.
Yeah, I roll sneak attack.
Yeah.
16 again.
That also hits, yeah. Funny enough, same thing again.
Ooh. 8 points of damage with the dagger, sorry.
Yeah. As this thing like rears back and roars from the pain of being stabbed in the stomach, it like opens up, like it lifts its head up, and you just take the dagger straight across this thing's throat. And the sound cuts off, and this flaming blood drips into the water beneath and sizzles as this thing drops down dead, and the water around it begins to steam and smoke. And one of them is dead.
Cool. And then I'll move just 5 feet to the side here so anybody can get past me if they want to get past. And I've got like a clear shot.
Yeah. And then it is Sinclair's turn.
Okay, so right. Having seen Giliana dispatch one of them, he's going to advance on the 2 on the other side of the room, try and distract them while everyone else can do something. So he's gonna, the one who looks like he's wearing sort of more armor, he's gonna draw his sword and take a swing at.
Sweet, roll the attack.
Ooh, nat 20. Here we go.
Damn it.
Your dice went from being cursed to being blessed.
I swapped the dice.
That's
That one is going to have to go to jail. That was rolling.
another one, yeah.
Lock that away for bad dice.
19. Because I just realised I forget that with my race I get to add an extra die, so I just rolled that as well.
Oh, yeah, that's right, you do.
Yep. It's 19 plus 4.
23.
23 points of slashing damage.
This thing is still up, but you come barreling in and you take your sword, your huge sword in both hands, and you don't like cut through this thing's armor. You just crush this thing's armor as you slam into it, and you see it buckle and bend and crush into this thing's body. It now can't stand fully upright because you have like just crushed its side in, but it is still standing. Is that everything on your turn?
Yes, that's all I can do. Yep, that's the end of my turn.
Cool. The fire newt standing next to you, not the one you just attacked, but the one next to you, is going to pull its scimitar back and do absolutely nothing because it rolled a 7. And it's going to just slam off the side of your armor as it tries to attack you. And then it is Kazisel's turn. You're still outside the room. What would you like to do?
From where I'm standing, can I see, like, the one that's standing to the side of Sinclair?
Yeah, I would say if you like shifted a little to the right, then yeah, you could definitely see that.
There's like what looks like a wooden board in that room. Is that
So
like a
this
table?
room was like a study. So to the, I didn't really describe it because you were getting attacked immediately, but to the northern wall are a pair of bookcases which stand like full of rotted and empty books, and to the center of the room next to Giliana and the fire newt is a table with an upturned chair.
I'm going. So as I went into like the opening, I'm going to throw my hand axe at the one that's standing to the side of Sinclair.
Yep, roll the attack.
15 plus.
That's gonna hit.
3
Yeah, you hit.
for 3 points of damage.
Yep.
And then I'm kind of gonna springboard up onto the table.
Yep.
And use my martial arts to kind of go for a kick from how I am on the table.
Yep, you do that whole like crouching tiger, hidden dragon thing where you just like leap up on your legs or like running in mid and you just like, touch the table and keep going, so you're in the air when you reach this thing and then just kick him in the face.
I'm kind of like doing like a side kick with one foot still on this table.
Yep.
So kind of keeping the height. That is a 19.
That definitely hits. Yeah, roll damage.
That is 3.
Okay, so not as much, but yeah, you still kick this thing in the head. It was not. It's like facing Sinclair, and as you rush in and just kick it in the side of the head and hit it with your thrown axe. It's like, what is happening? Where did you come from? But I'm assuming that's the end of your turn. Okay, Twilight, what would you like to do?
I'm gonna go in to the room.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still out in the little festival, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna. How much movement do I have?
You would have moved about 20 feet to get into the room, so you have another 10. So if you're wanting to do like a touch attack, you could reach the fire newt that's next to Sinclair and Gazisel.
I will get to them.
Okay, you rush up to him, so you're now stood between Sinclair and Gazisel next to this fire newt, who finds himself suddenly surrounded.
I'm going to attack with my mace,
Okay, roll to hit.
which it's like really cute and kind of gold with a star on the end and some gems and stuff. And that is 20 to hit.
That definitely hits, yeah, roll damage.
And then she doesn't really know what she's doing with it, so she's just going to kind of flail.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I rolled max damage. So 6 damage.
I mean, it appears to be working because you clock this thing about the head and it looks a little bit stunned. Is that it for your turn, or do you think anything else?
I don't think I have any bonus actions I could do that I'd want to yet. Nope, I'm all good. So that, yeah, I'm
Cool.
just going to say that.
Unfortunately, because you guys have now like stepped quite close to one another, Ilyana, you're safe, but I need the other 3 of you to make me a dexterity saving throw, please.
I literally thought you were going to be like, oh no, he goes for Giliana, even though all of those other people are right there.
19.
21.
Oh, rolled an 18.
Okay, so you all succeed, which means you're only going to take half damage from this.
Right.
You all take 6 fire damage as this fire newt in front of you raises its 2 like long-fingered hands, and a spark of fire erupts between them, and it throws its hands out, and this cone of flame washes over the 3 of you into the room, scorching everything and sending eruptions of steam from the floor at your feet, where the water is suddenly like evaporated into steam. But you were quick enough that you managed to get out of the way of most of it, but you still take 6 damage each.
I have resistance to fire damage. Does that
Then
do
you
it?
half that again, yes, you're on 3.
Nice.
And that is its turn, so Giuliana, what would you like to do?
Ooh. Okay. If I go to this corner, I'll go to there.
Yep, so you step into the corner of the room behind the fire newt that's sort of that's sort of in between everyone else, yeah.
I will try and get it with my short sword.
Yeah, I believe you get advantage as well,
Ooh.
because you've got an ally within 5 feet of it.
Lucky number 16.
Yeah, that's your third 16 against these guys. Yeah, that still
know.
hits. So roll your damage, including your sneak attack.
Okay. Oh my god, I have just absolutely 556.
Okay,
So
what does it look
16
like when you
add
kill this
5.
thing? What does it like when you
That's
kill this
20.
one?
So I'm just gonna stab it with one hand, and I'm gonna twist from the back and just like look over her shoulder at Sinclair, like, and then like
Thumbs
up
up.
with my other hand while I'm like holding the dagger in my hand, like.
Yeah, Sinclair, this thing has tried to hit you, so you've like turned to face it, and next thing you just see Giuliana like dip in behind it, she like disappears behind it, and next thing the point of her sword just straight through the stomach of it, a couple of inches away from you, and then she just like pokes over its shoulder, giving you the thumbs up. But yeah, that one slumps to the ground dead.
Fantastic.
Obviously, that was just your main attack. If you wanted, you could step over its dead body and use an offhand attack against the remaining one that's casting all the spells.
Yeah, why not?
Cool. You step forward, make an attack roll. Nat 20.
Yeah, natural 20.
Yeah, this thing does not have a lot of health left. What does it look like when you kill it?
Are you sure you don't want me to?
You can roll if you like, but I think even if you roll minimum damage, you're still going to kill it.
12.
Yes, what does it look like when you kill it?
Okay, so I'm just gonna stab it straight through. Does it have an eye? Does it have eyes?
Oh yeah, they have eyes. Like they have little beady, like red eyes.
Yeah, I'm gonna stab it right in the eye, and I'm gonna twist it again, and then twist it the other way, and then like push it.
Just push it over.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you like stab it, it roars out in this like horrible crackling sound. But then as you like twist the knife, the sound just cuts off, and as you push it, it falls back. And where these 3 bodies lie dead in the water around them steams and bubbles with the heat coming off of their body. But you have killed them, and the combat is over. So as I described, you find yourself standing in the remains of a study, which appears to have been either ransacked or just destroyed by the passage of time. The books are rotted. The water is causing the wooden furniture in here to rot at its base where it lies in contact with it. But other than that, it's just a ransacked room. There appears to be very little else in it. You can see through the doorway into the room that the other creature was in, that appears to be the remains of some sort of bedroom. There seems to be the frame of a bed and some destroyed furniture in there as well. You can also spot in that far room another door leading south that seems to lead into a hallway that you can't see the end of from here. You've got the room back the other way, which has got like the chittering, or you can like head into this room in front of you and check out that hallway.
Yeah, I'd assume because there'd be nothing on those newt guys, would there? Because
I mean, they have like their standard weapons, but they're not going to be any better than the weapons you guys have.
no. Yeah, Sinclair will just sort of move into the next room and peek around the corner at the corridor.
Yeah, you can see that this corridor appears to progress for about 10 or so feet, but then it seems to be interrupted by a cave-in and doesn't seem to go any further.
Sinclair will turn back to the others. Can't go that way. Cave in. We'll have to go to the other room.
Oh, to the chitin room.
Yes,
Pit City.
I suggest we take a moment, gather ourselves, do a bit of healing, and then we hit it.
Yeah, and don't forget, it's not really advised to do like a long rest or whatever in a dungeon, but if you guys wanted to like, try and set yourselves up, you could take a short rest.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Yeah, we take a short rest, then we can
Maybe
use
we
some hit
should
dice.
get out of this room, just out of the water while we do that. You know.
Yeah, if you guys want to head like further back up into any of the other rooms you've been through, like I'm not going to make you like
Go into the.
I mean,
the dark
do we really want to? I mean,
dead dark mantles.
this water's going to get to us if we're staying in here for the rest.
I mean, like I said, it is very shallow. It's literally like ankle deep. It's not like you're wading through it, but yeah, it's probably not the nicest thing to be standing
Cecil
in.
is saying that he does not want the hot springs episode. You know, so,
There's a time and a place.
Hot tub time machine.
yeah.
So yeah, you can head back into the room with the destroyed trap where you destroyed the dark mantles and have a rest, and you guys can take a short rest and spend any hit dice you would like to heal yourselves up.
Yes, please. Yes.
And actually, if anyone would like that cloak that you found, I would allow you, while you're having this short rest, to inspect it. And if you do, I can tell you what it is.
Yeah, what would we roll to investigate? Would that be an Arcana check?
So I'm just double checking, because I'm pretty sure you can do it on a short rest. But I'm pretty sure you can just determine the properties of a magic item on a short rest. But I can't just double check because it might be long rest. Yep, so a character can focus on one magic item during a short rest while being in physical contact with the item, and at the end of the rest, the character learns the item's properties as well as how to use them. Potions are an exception. A little taste is enough to tell the taster what the potion does. So, Giliana, if you'd like to spend the short rest after you've regained your hit points, actively trying to, what was the word it used? Actively focusing on the magic item, I can give you the details for what it is.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Cool. So while you guys are resting, Giliana pulls this cloak back out of her pack and sort of lays it on her lap in front of her, and just goes over the fine threading and the stuff on all of the accoutrement that I described at the chainmail at the top and the little shield-shaped brooch, and you realize that this is a cloak of protection. Anyone wearing this item after they've attuned to it will gain a +1 bonus to their armor class and saving throws.
Oh, and saving throws.
Yep,
Sick.
armor class and saving throws.
All right. Who's got the worst armor class then? Twilight.
Yeah, who has got the worst armor?
It's probably Cazeel.
Yeah, because I don't wear armor, do I? In fact,
yeah, he's running around naked.
that gives me a boost. I'm at 13 for my armor class.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh, fuck. You have it then.
Just put it on right
Wait,
now.
what? How does your armor
I have
class
no
that low?
idea.
That can't be right.
Wait, what is armor class determined by?
Well, I'm pretty sure as a monk it's
'Cause,
different.
Yeah, I've got the bonus on top of it, but
Because isn't AC supposed to be determined by your dex?
Yeah, which is why yours should be a lot fucking higher. Where is it? Here we go. Unarmored defense. Beginning at first level, when you're wearing no armor and not wearing a shield, your AC is equal to 10 plus your dex modifier plus your wisdom modifier.
yeah, so that's 13.
How are you? What is your dex?
What's your dex?
2.
What?
Why is your dex so bad?
Oh, you're a strength monk.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, what? No, I didn't roll too well on my abilities rolls. 2 is my highest. Everything else is 1 apart from intelligence, which is 0.
Christ. Bloody hell. You need to level those up. Okay.
Right, let's give him the cloak.
It's why my I'm just not great at the moment.
Oh, actually, hold on. Is the cloak... Hold on, let me just double check.
Oh no.
It's an item, it's fine. Cloaks don't count as armor, so he can in fact wear the cloak, and it still counts towards his unarmored defense. So you have a cloak of protection. You have to attune to it. That was what I was looking up before I got distracted. It's attunement.
Takes about an hour, doesn't it, attunement?
So the attuning to an item requires a creature to spend a short rest focused on only that item while being in physical contact with it. So unfortunately, because Giliana spent this short rest working out what its properties were, you won't be able to attune to it until you take another short rest. Anyway, you have determined the nature of the cloak and you've handed it off to Cazeel, but obviously you cannot attune to it just yet.
I need some time to learn to move with it.
Yeah. So you have finished the rest, and I'm assuming at this point you guys heading back to the room that you heard the chittering from?
Yeah. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Do you want me to be behind you guys?
How well did everyone heal up, by the way?
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
If I were to put a number on it, I'd say
Full as well.
roughly around an 18 out of 20.
Okay.
Not too bad.
Not too bad.
Okay, we're all pretty much all right. Yeah, just Sinclair will get to the door, sort of shut his eyes in that kind of, oh for Paylor's sake, here we go. Open the door and enter the room. Oh, God.
Yeah. As you open the door, why can't that work? Here we go. As you open the door, you're met with a handful of, I say a handful, you're met with 3 quite large for what they are, but they're still small creatures, so they're probably about the size of a cat, but they are large beetles with like glowing glands at their throat. And I'd say any of you could probably see them from here, but you can make a nature check to see if you know what they are.
I'm no good at that.
I would say as well, you notice that even in the dark, with those glowing glands, they're actually shedding dim light around them as it reflects off the water at their feet as they skitter about the room.
What an 18.
21.
8.
15.
Anyone above 15, actually probably anyone above a 12, would recognize these as a giant fire beetle. You know they're nocturnal creatures that take their name from a pair of glowing glands that give off light. Miners and adventurers would prize these creatures as their glands continue to shed light for several days after the beetle dies. Most commonly found underground and in dark forests. And while their name is actually a misnomer, there's actually nothing fiery about them. It is just a glowing gland that sheds light. But in the dark, it looks like a glowing ember in the distance.
Like fireflies.
So the door opens. What would you like to do?
Have they noticed us?
I mean, yeah, they look at you and they sort of like skittering, and then they stop and like look at you as you stand in the doorway.
What do they do if Sinclair takes a step towards them?
They take a step back.
Interesting.
Maybe we should just edge round
Can
the
we, like,
side
scoot
of
past?
the room and see if we can just get past.
Is that what you
Yeah.
want to try?
Yeah, let's try it.
Yeah.
Could we scare them into just scurrying off somewhere else?
Yeah, or we could scare them. We could go in, scare them out of the room.
In doing that, they might feel cornered and forced to attack.
Oh, yeah, let's
Let's
just
just
try and
sneak
sneak past. Like, they're going to do what they're going to do. But leave the door open just in case they just want to leave.
Well, if they're scared of our footfall, should we just proceed?
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
What's the worst that could happen?
Okay, Sinclair will start edging forward again.
Yeah,
step by step, gauging what they're doing.
Yeah, as you step into the room, sending ripples cascading about the water on the floor, these beetles step to the sides of the room and move and like press themselves up against the wall, start clambering up against the wall to get away from you all. And their light reflects off the wall and the water and the ground. You walk through the room and into the next one unaccosted.
Nice.
Until.
No, you make it into the next room. There's what looks like it used to be a doorway that has been smashed through, and it leads into another similar-sized room. This one is completely empty, save for a door in the southern wall. And you can see if you look behind you, the beetles have like scurried away and are sort of in the corners of the room trying to get away from you.
Or beetles. Okay. I'm assuming is that a set of stairs?
It's a doorway leading to something you can't see because the door is currently closed.
Okay. Slowly walk up to the door, have a listen.
Make a perception check.
That is 12.
You can hear nothing on the other side.
Okay. Sinclair will look round to everyone, shall we?
Let's go.
Yes.
Let's take it slowly.
Okay, nice
Yeah,
and
we
slowly.
don't want anything falling on our
you-
heads or,
You open the door to reveal another hall, which continues south for about 15 feet and then turns to the west.
Okay. Would there be a trap in the corridor? Am I paranoid? Yes.
Well, check.
Well, proceed slowly and check for traps.
All right, roll an investigation check.
16.
You see no signs of a trap.
Fantastic. Proceed down the
there's
corridor.
17.
Yeah, you get to the end of the corridor. Yeah, trap. You get to the end of the corridor and you see another closed door, this time heading into the west.
Do the usual. Have a listen.
Perception check again.
1.
Oh,
Oh.
no.
You hear what you believe to be the growling of a very large creature on the other side of this door.
Okay. Sinclair will do like he did to Cecil before, and this time he'll say, "There's something very big in that room."
I just turn around and apparently there's something big in that room, and it's got Sinclair very, very scared.
Well, tell Sinclair he's also big.
and scary.
And scary.
And also
I turn
ugly
around
and
to
smelly.
Sinclair. Giliana says, "You are also big."
You know, I hadn't thought about that. It never occurred to me before. He's just going to open the door.
Okay.
The suck.
You open the door, and inside is nothing. Inside, the water at your feet spills forward into a large puddle, but you can see from the far side of the room that the puddle here doesn't continue any further. And as you turn around, you can see to the southernmost corner in the southeastern corner of the room has fallen away into a similar cavern that you spotted before, a similar fissure in the floor, and the water is draining out here, and the sounds you could hear was the water rushing into this cavernous opening. As I point out, the eye roll I got from Pete there fed my soul.
Yeah, exactly, you bastard. Sinclair's going to step into the room, look at it, and go, well, it's a different kind of growling, I suppose.
You did roll a natural one.
He's very stressed, all right?
But yes, other than that, the room is empty, but you can see another door on the opposite wall.
Can we see anything through this hole into the... Is this also into the Underdark?
I mean, you could probably assume as much, but all you can see is a great big dark opening, and you can hear the water rushing away into a fissure underneath. You would assume that with an opening of this size, similar to the one you saw before, it probably does lead to the Underdark, but it's not like... You know, a lot of people think opening to the Underdark means like opening into another cavern full of stuff. You think this opens way, way above the Underdark? And this probably explains like some of the creatures you've seen before, like the fire beetles and the fire newts have probably made their way up here in the past and sort of made a home here. But it isn't an easy task, and this one specifically looks like it just opens above a great big cavern.
Okay. Yeah. Is there a door ahead of us then, did you say?
Yes, on the opposite wall to the west is another doorway.
Right, let's kind of have a look at it then.
Yep, you continue on and just go straight up and open this one.
Yeah.
Yep, you open the door again to reveal another short hallway that joins this room to another. And I'm going to assume that you just step forward and open that one as well. And you find yourselves in, similar as before, where you've had those sort of rooms that join from one to another. You find yourselves in another entryway with a door to the west and a large, much more ornate door to the south.
Small door tells me less important.
Yes,
From what I've been learning,
I agree. Let's clear
what
the
I've been
smaller
learning
door.
so far, small door, less important.
I always expect the unexpected.
Go big or go home.
So can I take it that this means you guys are going to go into the big door?
Yeah.
We are indeed.
Okay. Sinclair, you reach out and pull open this large double door in front of you. There's a short, wide hallway that then opens up into a large antechamber. This room is much more cavernous than the ones you've seen before. The stonework more ornate. 4 great big stone columns support the ceiling, and at the far side of the room is an ornate stone throne, is the only word that comes to mind when you see it. And slumped on the throne is a skeletal body with a sword protruding from its chest, piercing the stone at the back. The room smells of death and decay. It smells of stale air and dust, but it is silent, save for the ringing of your footsteps as you walk across the flagstones. On the eastern wall, slumped between the wall and a pillar, is the skeletal remains of a humanoid dressed in heavy plate mail armor. What would you guys like to do?
We definitely checking this bitch for traps.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking around this room for any creatures.
Yeah. Roll your investigation checks.
19.
17.
Are Gillian and Twilight rolling, or just these two?
Oh,
You don't have to roll, I'm just wondering.
19.
16.
There are no
Oh,
traps in
creatures.
here. You suspect that this... other than the skeletal remains on the throne with a sword through it and the skeletal remains on the floor with no sword through it, there is nothing else in here. Other than some rubble in some of the corners of the room where the stone has begun to fail and crack over the years.
Oh no, oh.
Did you say that there was an armoured body or a skeleton?
Yes, to the western wall, slumped between the wall and a pillar, is what appears to be a humanoid in, you would call it paladin's armor, plate mail armor, but it is a skeleton. And you would know from Brynlow's description and what he's asked you to come here and find, his ancestor would have been here this is generations ago. We're talking a couple of 100 years. So skeletal remains are about what you'd expect to find.
I don't like the look of this. I don't know about you guys, but I mean, that guy didn't make it.
Guess we just gotta try.
I mean, anyone who's like observing the room, and you've all done an investigation check, you can all make an insight check.
Oh, alright, that was really good. 21.
Yep, 21 as well.
Nice.
17.
12.
Gilliana, you can tell like there was a fight in here. There are like scorch marks. Well, I would say even after this amount of time, the scorch marks probably aren't prevalent, but there are like gouges in the floor indicating where attacks have been like missed and struck. There are nicks and cracks in the pillars where things have been thrown around and smashed. For the rest of you, like nothing in here is moving, nothing in here is alive currently. It looks to you from the state of affairs that, you know, the paladin may have been successful. The lich sits on his throne with a sword through his chest, but perhaps he was grievously wounded in the attempt and wasn't able to leave, and that may be him sitting against the wall that you see on the western side. Sorry, as I kept saying western, eastern wall. It's the eastern wall. To your left as you come in.
Sinclair is going to slowly move into the centre of the room.
I'm going to be right behind you.
Yeah, you guys step into the middle of the room and nothing happens.
I can't...
The dust you kick up floats through the air, being highlighted by the flames from Kazisel's torch, but nothing moves.
Shall we take the sword? That's what we're here for.
Let's quickly check out this armoured fellow first, I say. And Sinclair will move over towards him.
I'm taking a step closer towards the throne. I've got an axe in my hand, kind of clutching it tightly.
Yeah, but nothing happens. No, nothing happens still. And Sinclair, you're heading towards the body on the floor.
Yep.
Cool. What do you want to do with him?
Is there anything on him?
Roll an investigation check.
Ooh, 19. We'll take that.
Cool. So the armor is still in pretty good nick. Obviously, there's some damage to it from whatever fight he has had in the past. You can, even just a cursory glance, you can see that some of his bones were broken prior to his death. The scabbard is empty. You know, you can pretty much surmise that is his sword in the lich. But you do find a leather-bound journal. You can tell just from looking at it, this thing is old and brittle. Picking it up could destroy it. So if you would like to pick it up and try to read from it, you need to make a sleight of hand check.
Don't know,
I mean, if you guys could have moved into the room, but because you haven't described anything, I'm assuming you two are still by the door.
Oh, God, I'll move in, but near the door. I'll do it because I'm pretty...
Alright, I'm assuming, Sinclair, you've said you found this thing and you call Gilliana over?
Yeah. Relay that information to Gilliana and Twilight. And
Cool.
Kazizel, of course.
Sleight of hand.
Yeah, so you need to make me a sleight of hand check to lift out the journal without destroying it.
22.
You extricate this from the belt of the skeleton, and you can tell this thing has been here a very long time. The pages are brittle and will likely fall to dust at a touch, but with a 22, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're able to pull this out, and you know you'll not be able to handle it for very long, so you could maybe get a bit of information from it. Where in the journal do you want to turn?
End?
You carefully open it to the last page, and in a jittering script, which appears to have been written by a shaky hand, you read, "I have completed my task. The lich will not be able to wreak havoc on our lands no more. I only pray that Tharun can complete his task and destroy its phylactery in time. I can do no more. I will not leave this place, and I pray that anyone who finds it will come from the prosperous lands that we have left behind. If you find me, please tell my wife and my children that I love them, and I hope that they will thrive in the lands we have created." And that's the end of the journal.
I'll relay that information to the rest of the group, and I'll say, maybe we don't... Wait, we haven't pulled the sword out, have
No,
we?
nobody has
Or have
approached
we?
the the lich on the throne yet.
I'm nervous that if we pull it out, it's going to be able to like.
I've just
Come
stepped
back.
forward closer to Boo.
Well,
So are you going to put the journal away, or do you want to try reading any more of it?
Yeah, I'll read from like middle.
Oh, just flick straight to the middle of it.
I don't know.
I'll just say this much: you're gonna have to make another for every subsequent page you want to read. You're going to make another sleight of hand check. The first one, because you managed to get it open at this point and haven't damaged it, is going to be quite low. But for every further page you want to try and read, it's going to get more and more difficult.
I'll ask the others actually. What do you think? I can try and read some more. Where in the journal should I look? Like middle or a bit further? Just a bit further from the back.
Have a look in the middle, I guess. But I guess you already know what you need to know from it.
Well, we'll try the middle. Not going to lose anything. Going to go, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll try. Oh, 10.
10 is exactly what you needed. So you flick.
Oh my gosh.
Or you find roughly where obviously you find his last page, so you know roughly how long this is, and you flick to the middle. And I'm not going to sort of read this one out as like a monologue, but you find notes where he's talking about the arrival of this lich and the damage it's doing to the land and how something has to be done. He has made plans with a wizard that he has known for a very long time, Thurun, and they are going to try and come up with a plan to get rid of the lich. But that's pretty much all that sheet tells you.
We need to know what this plan was.
I'm just inspecting the sword that's being held into the lich. I'm not touching it or anything. I'm just kind of looking it over.
Okay, are you just visually inspecting it? Okay, give me either an investigation or an arcana check.
Go for it. 0, so it doesn't matter. So I'll just roll. I rolled 16.
Okay, just tell me if it was an investigation or arcana you were doing. Obviously, it doesn't matter.
I'm going to be doing an arcana because knowing about a lich, I'll probably be looking out for any magical properties.
Yeah, you can tell from the way this sword was made that it was, imbued with magic as part of the smithing process. It wasn't just like enchanted, but it was built into the sword as it was being made. This was a combination of a wizard's enchantment and a blacksmith's skills that went into creating this item.
I'm scared to move this sword. It looks like it was magical at some point, and I don't know if that was what's keeping this here, or I'm not sure about moving it.
I agree.
I have to apologize. I can't remember from the last session. Did you guys roll to see who had knowledge about liches?
You think so?
Yeah, I think we did.
Okay, I couldn't remember. I was going to give you that option if you hadn't already, but
I can't remember what we said or learned.
I remember a little bit.
We'll assume that he's rolled a decent amount. That reminds you that to kill a lich, you have to both destroy its body and its phylactery. Essentially, its phylactery is a way of storing part of its soul or just part of its essence away from the body, and it's usually hidden somewhere remote. So the idea would be that you both have to destroy its body and the phylactery before it is able to revive. But as part of the thing that you just read, you don't have the full thing, but obviously you just read something about Thurun, the wizard, destroying the phylactery.
And if it had resurrected, we'd know. Because as you say, a lich in the land, we'd know, that it's dead. Also, if he's dead here, then his soul would have transferred to his phylactery, so he wouldn't be here anyway.
So, just gonna ask, what is your next step? Do you want to read any more of this journal, or what is your next step?
It'd be to pull the sword out in a minute, I think.
In that case, I will hold in my hand axe, kind of reaching out towards the sword. I'm just gonna kind of knock it, kind of not forcefully, but kind of gingerly trying to knock the sword with my axe to see if anything happens.
I mean, when you just hit it with a bit, it's like boom, and it's like a resonant ringing noise. But unless you pull it free, it's not going to go anywhere or do anything.
What do you guys reckon? Do you guys think? Are you confident in thinking it's gone?
Let me read one more tiny bit of this journal.
Okay, where do you want to go in the journal?
halfway through from the middle and the end.
Okay, give me another sleight of hand check.
26.
Okay, you read in the journal about how they had come up with a plan. They could not wait to find the phylactery, but Tharun had a plan. They would create a weapon which could delay the lich's ability to revive through its phylactery while they searched for it and destroyed it.
I reckon that it's not dead. I feel it in my soul. But we're going to pull it out and it's going to fucking go for its phylactery and it's going to cause shit. We need to know where this phylactery is.
Just going to remind you all, you don't get paid without the sword.
I knew it. I knew it was not, that it was magic and it stopped it. I knew.
That's all right. If it comes back, we'll just find its phylactery and then we'll kick its ass.
But we don't know where the phylactery is.
It'll appear. It'll show itself.
Right, no. Okay, let me try and find this phylactery in this stupid journal.
Okay, you want to make another sleight of hand check?
Yeah.
But learning that, I'm just going to be taking a step back away from the sword.
17.
Yes. This time I will give you, since you're looking for something specific, roll an investigation check. Since you're not just flicking to a random page.
21.
Several pages before the end, you spot something and you turn to the page gingerly and carefully and you read about how Tharun had located the phylactery, but it would take him some time to travel there. The Lich had been very careful and had stored it some distance away. Weeks' travel, in fact. They couldn't leave the Lich alive for this long, ruining the area that they lived in, so the plan was that this sword would be used to contain it, and Tharun would, in the meantime, be travelling to destroy the phylactery, which is why on the last sheet, or the last page, he talked about hoping that Tharun had done what he had intended to do and destroyed it.
Okay, so we've got no chance of finding that phylactery.
Well, it depends whether Tharun came through and destroyed it. That's the question.
Well, yeah, but
If this wizard, none of us have ever known.
Hundreds of years
How
ago.
much faith do we have that they did it? That they succeeded?
You'd like to think that if this lich was such a threat that they would have followed through, but...
So it's weeks travel away. I hate to be this person. Is it our problem?
We need the money.
We do need the money. Unless it just decides to come back to this body instantly, then yeah, it definitely is our problem. But we also don't have any choice, so...
But then, if it does come back, at least, we'd have the information to inform people. Like, we could go, you know, there are many different churches who could help. Like, I know that the Templars of Paylor would lend their assistance if it came to it.
I think, yeah, let's just cross that bridge when we come for it, and I'm just going to pull the sword out.
Let's burn that bridge when we reach it.
No, as you run to the sword to pull it out, my hand is just reaching out.
Oh, no, we're not doing that. Oh, no.
I'm not doing that, but I'm just reaching my hand out, just kind of...
No, it's, the sword's out.
I'm not grabbing you, I'm just like...
Twilight steps forward and at that just says, okay, and pulls the sword from the body, and there is a resounding crack from the stone of the throne. Surprisingly enough, you're all surprised. You saw this sword embedded into the stone of this throne, but Twilight pulls it out with ease, and it feels like it comes free like a knife through butter. And you all hold your breath. The dust hangs in the air. The bones in the chair settle now that they're no longer held by the sword, and they collapse a little more into the seat. And nothing happens.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Get out of here.
As you step towards the door, everyone make a perception check.
Fuck! I'm so scared!
15.
17.
The two of you who rolled over a 15, you notice the flames on Kazisel's torch begin to flicker and dance. They're pulled by an inrushing of air as it flows into the room. The dust about your feet that you've kicked in the air begins to swirl and form tiny tempests which dance across the floor. The air pulls and circulates and creates a cyclone around the throne, and the bones begin to rise and lift.
Run! Neck it! Run! Run! Get out of here!
Run. Stab it! Go and put it back in! Put it back in! Quick!
Could you picture all our tokens are just going to be up here by the door, just trying to get out?
Yeah, you spot this happening literally as you're heading down this hallway, so you're all pretty much at the edge of it, and the door, as Kazisel reaches it, slams shut in front of you. And you turn, the torchlight flickering, as you see the lich standing at the foot of its throne. Pinpricks of bright white light shining in the empty sockets of its head.
He didn't do it! He didn't do it!
Can we not put it back in? Just put it back.
Rattles once, its eyes focus on you all, and it raises a single bony finger to point. And that's where we're going to end the session.
No!
We
are
are.
dead.
I knew this literally.
New characters ready. We are dead.
I'm going back.
Well, that's it for another episode. Thanks for sticking with us. As usual, I'd like to thank Lixie B and Jeff for the wonderful logo and character art they created for us, the Stormweather Shanty Choir for letting us use their song Drunken Sailor as our theme tune, DN Dice for sponsoring us, and all of our wonderful Patreon supporters who have been helping us out. Our recommended podcast this week is a new podcast from a group I genuinely wasn't expecting to put out a D&D podcast, but I am unbelievably excited and pleased that they did. Anyone familiar with UK West End theatre has probably heard of Mischief Theatre or Mischief Comedy. They have put on some fantastic shows over the last few years, mostly in the style of what they call the goes wrong shows. The play that goes wrong, magic goes wrong, and you've probably seen them if you're from the UK. You've probably seen them on BBC at Christmas over the last few years, as they've done a couple of different Christmas shows, including a version of Peter Pan Goes Wrong, The Nativity Goes Wrong, and they had their own show on the BBC. I'm gonna have to Google it now, but I think it's just called The Goes Wrong. That's what it was, The Goes Wrong Show. I love these guys. I think I mentioned before, my other half has a theatre review blog. That's Theatre and Tonic for anyone who's interested in theatre in the UK. And because of that, we have been to see several of their shows, and I think we actually ended up seeing the play that goes wrong 3 or 4 times. And I can't overstress how much I love watching these guys, and getting to hear them do a really dumb, silly D&D podcast has just been fantastic. There is currently 2 episodes out. It's called Hell or High Rollers, and it's based on a group of, air quotes, villains who end up in Avernus and have to try and make their way back to the mortal plane and get back to their lives. Obviously, with this being a D&D podcast put on by a bunch of comedians, they're obviously focusing very much on a fast-paced story, packed full of humour and funny storytelling. They're quite rules light, and I'm going to be honest, I barely noticed with the first 2 episodes, because it's just an enjoyable story to listen to. The characters are all very fun. All of the cast who play these characters have, they are professional actors. They're embodying these characters so well, and it is a joy to listen to, and I really, really cannot wait for the next episode to come out. So please, please, please go and check them out. That is the Hell or High Rollers podcast. We will have links in the description, and if you haven't already, check out Mischief Theatre or Mischief Comedy on Twitter. All of their shows are phenomenal, and I cannot recommend going to see them enough. And finally, just a quick note, this was the last episode from a recording session, so we will have a episode debrief going up on our Patreon for our paid supporters. I do apologise as well. I know I promised a guest, explore the guest lore recently with Susie of the Lads on Tour podcast. I have the audio sitting, I just have not had time to get it edited. I'm actually quite surprised I managed to get this week's episode up on time. So that will be coming soon, I promise. But on the note of Patreon, there was one thing I'd meant to implement about a month ago and completely forgot. We're going to start putting the names of our Patreon supporters in as NPC characters. So if you'd like to hear your name said on our really dumb podcast, then even if you join us at the lowest tier, which I think is just £1, and just, for a month, if you give us £1, we will name a character after you in one of our episodes. And who knows, it may end up becoming a recurring character who the characters meet lots and lots of times, or it could be a one-off character who sells them a bunch of smutty books and is never heard from again. You just never know. But that is it for this week's episode. Thank you so much for sticking with us, guys, and we'll see you soon.